Family, how's it going, y'all? Lunch and News with DotSale is Wednesday. Let's get straight into it. Yeah. We got a great show today. We're talking about something that I'm very in tune with. The athletics culture is something that I'm very, very in tune with. So we definitely got to talk about what's going on with the WNBA, that whole situation. We're going to talk about the Netflix situation too and what's going on with the mass cancellations over there at Netflix. We're going to look at their stock price and see how they're being affected by the latest round of cancel culture. Latest round of cancel culture. But first, we got to get directly into getting y'all fed. This is Lunch and News with DotSale. So I'm not going to make y'all wait. I want to get y'all fed, taken care of. And then as you're eating, we're going to go through all the topics we have today. So let's get straight into it. What do we got today? We got vegan and or vegetarian chili. And that looks good. Look at that presentation. Shout out to the content creator that put this together. I can't get his full name. Let me see something. Andrew Bernard. Andrew Bernard is going to be he's going to be making our lunch today, Andrew Bernard. And at this particular time, he has 582,000 subscribers. Past the 500,000 mark, Andrew Bernard did. So check out his channel. Looks like he has really good stuff. I liked his energy, so I wanted to have him prepare our meal today. Shout out to Andrew. Let's see what he's got to say.
The family absolutely loves this recipe right now. It's creamy, vegan white chili, loaded with bold flavors, hearty beans, and incredibly comforting. Today, we're making this cozy bowl of goodness. Let's dig in. We have only a few fresh veggies here that we'll quickly peel through to help us get to the dinner table faster. I usually begin this recipe by breaking down my cauliflower. Cauliflower florets are packed pretty tight, and vegetables like this that I can't wash more thoroughly, I get them in a solution to soak while prepping the other ingredients. Add a few tablespoons up to a half cup of white vinegar and fill the rest of the bowl up with water. This is one of my mom's tricks, and okay, so this is cool because
and you can tell he cleanly because he got all that hair. He got the thick mustache. He got the huge long beard, and he's got locks, and they all look clean. His beard looks absolutely clean. I like this guy, man. Might want to have a hairnet on possibly around the beard just in case, but very, very good presentation by this guy, and I like how he cleans his vegetables. I've never seen anybody clean their vegetables that thoroughly.
This doesn't only just remove dirt, it also helps kill bacteria and adds flavor. Is it necessary? No.
I rock with him. I'm liking this guy. He got the peppers. Tira's happy somewhere. We're going to let him get through all this. Very cleanly. See, this is what I like. You can't be in a dirty kitchen. And side note, all the people that own pets, especially cats, when y'all letting your cats run around the table, you're letting your cats jump up on the counter and all that, that is absolutely disgusting, all right? Cat be jumping out the litter box, then he jump on your counter, then you want to make food for everybody. That's not supposed to happen. I know that's a side note, but seeing how cleanly this guy is and how he washes his vegetables just made me think about that. I had to turn down somebody's meal one time because of that. Here we go. This is the Tira special. Hey, I know you're thinking about chili. We might need to add some chili now.
I like to make sure my cauliflower is nice and dry. This way, everything sticks and making contact with the baking. I want to keep the cauliflower from
Today feels like a chilly day. What do we got in there? Does he got cayenne in there? See, I'm rock. We gonna have to. All right, I'm bookmarking this guy. We're gonna have to watch more of his content. I don't need a lot of time to figure out if I like somebody. I can know if I like somebody within the first like 5 seconds of seeing them, and I like this guy.
Jalapeno out. I mean, this is chili, so there's a bit of an expectation.
It doesn't take very long for me to figure out if I like.
We're dumping in our stock. Now, once this is in here, we're would be putting stuff in. Chilies are made in like, slow cookers, and that naturally will help, reduce some of the liquid in there, helping it condense and also thicken to more of like a creamy texture.
The way he's explaining everything is so intricate and detailed. It's got the blender cracking.
Okay, let's stir this.
Looking very healthy.
And we're gonna let it sit.
I ain't gonna lie. I am not going to lie. Shout out to Andrew Bernard. He gets a high endorsement from me. I didn't see a lick of his video before this. All I seen was, I said, all right, this looks cool. And we didn't even get to watch the whole 6-minute video because we got to get through it. I want to get y'all fed, but yeah, shout out to Bernard. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. And our family appreciate you as well. 100%. But we got to get into this WNBA. Napheesa Collier, Kathy Engelbert, Cheryl Reeves, the Minnesota Lynx, Caitlin Clark. We're going to talk about all of it. The referees. The referees, you might be wondering what I'm wearing right now. You might be wondering what's going on behind me. We'll get to that. We will get to that. It's a lot going on. Let me go all black and white. So you can see the blue stripe. You might be wondering what's going on. We got so much to talk about. Let's just get straight into it. So just a quick background on me. I'm absolutely an athlete at all levels. Grew up, football, got into basketball, played all through school. And then ever since then, I began to play in intramurals, men's leagues, stuff like that. 3 to 5 days a week ever since I was out of school, all the way up until now, still currently. And follow the game, study the game very much, coached, my kids and different things like that when they were in their youth and other kids, and also became a basketball official. And so started high school around the COVID year and doing like kids and stuff like that, and got all the way to become a state tournament official. That's basically the highest honor that you can get within your given state, doing the tournament, which is the playoffs, basically. The playoffs and the finals in the NBA is equivalent, or the March Madness tournament, but just at the high school level. So, I got there, definitely in the top officials in my state. And then also I've done college basketball playoffs, and I actually started out, but just to make a better understanding of how it goes in college. When you're in college and you're an official, you have to pick a side, right? So I either had to stick on the women's side or I had to move to the men's side. Now, naturally, they wanted me to move to the men's side, and I thought that was the right decision. So my first year I did women's college basketball at the JUCO level, and men's college basketball at the JUCO level. You got to start at JUCO, junior college. And then after that, I subsequently moved to the men's side, and then got up to the Division III level, and soon to be on my way to Division II if everything plays out the way it should. So, and I've done plenty of regional tournaments in the playoffs and different things like that. But I have to preface by saying this. I'm a player first. I played the game first. That's where I start at. I don't start as an official, although I don't blur the lines. When I'm a player, I'm a player. And when I'm an official, I'm an official. And it's just that simple. So what I want to do now, just by saying that, is really just get into what's going on with this whole situation with the WNBA commissioner, with the players, and everything going on. Now, I want to say this before we get started. There's a lot going on with this situation. It dates back years and times to we just really got an update right now that I'm gonna show. Actually, I'll start with the update, the most recent news, but then we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at kind of how we got to this situation to begin with. And then we're gonna look at Caitlin Clark and a couple of things that I found very interesting and strange that's going on with her within the WNBA. And then also we're gonna look at the commissioner and see how she's moving, because I think that the way that she's operating is very, very strange. There's a lot to go on here. Again, we're a family. We're not on one side or the other for the most part. So we're going to be balanced and we're going to look at both sides. We're not going to railroad one or the other. We're going to make our own decisive conclusion at the end of all this and see where we stand. And then we will get to the Netflix situation after all of this. Let's get straight into it. No, I'm gonna take this off. All right, so actually, you know what? Let me do it like this. I'm gonna do it like this. 1 second. We're gonna build the plane while we're flying. It's a little dangerous. This is a little dangerous, but we know how to operate. We're gonna throw this up here real quick. We're gonna throw this up here. And that's how we're going to move, because it looks like at one point, these two were friends. So how do we get from them smiling together, loving on one another, to becoming mortal enemies within a year, basically, or maybe even less than that? Well, let's start here. We're going to look at this video right here, and we're going to see that just yesterday we had a game. It was game 5 at Las Vegas, and the Fever came there with Caitlin Clark as the star of the Fever team, although she's out with an injury. And Kathy was on the big screen, on the Jumbotron, they call it, and she began to get boos. So let's see what we got going on. You can see Kathy up there at the top, 5 minutes before tip-off. She's speaking. And the crowd is very, very upset at her. And it's hard to hear because there's a lot going on. But basically, the majority of the crowd was booing, right? Okay, so now, this is the latest news. This is what's going on as far as what we're hearing. Breaking. Kathy to exit as WNBA commissioner after CBA negotiations per SBJ. And the reason why, in quotes, she hasn't connected. She's not a relationship builder. Okay. Now, this here is the Sports Business Journal. This is them saying it, right? And they got a very, very large following. Well, depending on who you compare them to, at 141.9K followers. So this has some validity to it, although we don't know if she's going to be out or not. We're basically going into the WNBA finals at this point. So this is where the WNBA is going to have the most eyes on it. And I don't think Kathy wants to be a part of any of this controversy at this point. However, we're going to get into, we're going to go back, actually. We're going to go back to last year's finals, okay? So this is all going to build up to Collier's most recent press conference, basically an exit interview after you lose in the playoffs, and you have your exit interview and they kind of ask you questions and stuff. So we're going to see that in its entirety, all right? We're going to get to that. We'll get to everything that's going on. First, I want to start here, though. Let's actually go to this picture right here. So this picture here is the Minnesota Lynx at New York. At New York, the Minnesota Lynx. Was it at New York? Yeah, I believe New York had home court. If I'm wrong on that, sorry about that. I believe it was at New York. So she goes there and she wears this dress, right? Now, as the commissioner, you want to come in on bias. I would say just throwing on just all black, all white, all red, or just representing the WNBA brand would be just fine. She chose to come into this game biasly wearing the New York City skyline as her dress. And you can see it here on Reddit. This is a year ago. Right? And the people have something to say about it. They have something to say about it here. And you'll see the people in Reddit not understanding why she would come there. And this person here says, that's terribly unprofessional. How hard is it to wear something neutral or celebrating the WNBA in general? The WNBA needs to do better for 2025, right? This is people saying they need to do better 2025. And now we're here in 2025, okay? Right now, they are underserving of how great this season has been, okay? So that's what we're going to see here. And I think we got some video of it. Do we got the video? I think I got the video. We got it right here. We'll show it here. Let's play this video. I got to be careful. I'm probably going to get all kind of copyrights for everything I'm about to show. So if you're watching this live, then you did the right thing. Because the playback's probably going to be looking crazy. Engelbert. I've been saying it wrong, so let me correct her last name. Engelbert is how he pronounced it. I've been saying Engelbert. So we're gonna call her Engelbert now. All right, we're gonna call her Engelbert, but it start with an E. Ang. If it was an A, I would have said Angle. I don't know. It is what it is. All right, so we see that right there. She comes there. She's wearing that. Oh yeah, okay. It is in New York. Game 5 was in New York. All right. Then we got her here. Yeah. She actually wore a NYC skyline dress during the game. So you got to think about this. And this is some of the buildup that we're looking at. And also there was some controversial plays in this game. And we're going to look at those plays where there were a Lynx player was hurt in this game as well as in the most recent game when their star player Collier got hurt on a controversial non-foul call. We're going to look at that foul call. We're going to look at it from a referee's perspective and also from a player and a fan's perspective. We're going to look at it from all perspectives. But doing this is absolutely going to turn off the Minnesota fan base. I think the only people that are agreeing with this are hardcore NYC fans, and even them, they're like, I don't know. This is kind of shady, right? So we have this, right? And you got to think about it. Like, if you're on Minnesota side, this is not looking good. I want to look at what happened in this series, though. And we're going to look at one play here where this is another controversial call where a good player on the Lynx, similar to what happened just recently, which caused a lot of this controversy. Here, let's just look at this play and see what we got. I'm gonna leave the audio off for this. We'll be good without the audio. All right. Let's get the replay though. And I want y'all to tell me. I'm gonna keep my judgment out of it as an official, but I want y'all to tell me what you think about this play. Do you think this is a foul on 8 Lynx? On black 8, do you think this is a foul? Or do you think that the contact was initiated by 35 green, causing displacement of a legal defender and also wrapping her hands around her and then tossing her to the ground? We'll look at it one more time. She was hurt her back on this play and was out. So right here, legal, might be pushing up against the back of the player. But as you can see right here, if you look, you'll see that she has her hand wrapped around her body. Now that would be considered you can call it a swim move, you can call it a hold on the offensive player. That doesn't look legal by the offensive player, all right? But I want y'all to make your own decision on this. I'm just pointing out what's going on, okay? Now we continue to go through. Now she has both hands, which is very unnatural. This is not natural to do as an offensive player. It's very strange. And you'll see here, She's continuing to back into a player that looks to be legal, and she gets tossed down to the ground. She goes through her with no remorse, continues to try to finish her shot, and subsequently 8 is called for a foul in this play. Or no? Did 8 get called for a foul in this play? She was hurt. All right, so we're going to move on, and then I want to look at this play right here. Now, this was probably one of the most controversial plays, and I want to look at this one because this, I think, really set the tone for what was going to happen currently. All right? As you can see the score, there's 1 second left. 1 second left. This is game 1 of the finals, right? Most of the time, whoever wins game 1 goes on to win the series. So it's New York down 1 with 1 second left. And even before this, there was a lot of weird things that happened. Can't get into all that right now. But we'll look at this play.
Find Stewart.
I'm going to take the sound off just because this isn't, I don't want to get copyrighted to hell on this. But let's look right here. So they called a foul on this play. Now, we're going to look at the play again, but I just want to look at one thing here. The optics of this do not look good. I'll tell you why. So you see the official where she's passing the ball in on the end line. All right, you got an official right there. You got an official up at the top left of the screen, right? He's the one that called this foul. And that's why it was, because he's calling out of his area, technically by rule, which is fine to do. If it's a foul, you have to get. If it's absolutely a foul, it's okay to call out of your area. We're taught that. So that's what he's seen, and I'm not going to dispute what he's seen. If that's what he's seen, it is what it is, right? Officials make error in judgments all the time. Not saying he's wrong, not saying he's right. I'm going to save my critique and judgment until later. He's obviously a much more seasoned official than me if he's at this level. All right? But that's not always going to be the deciding factor on if he's wrong or right, or if I'm wrong or right. But he comes in, so the official that's right in front of the play has nothing. He's got a pretty good look at it. The guy in the back has a lot of bodies in between the action. So for him to come in and get this play, yeah, I'm going to say it's a bit shady. Let's actually go into, let's go here. If we go here, we can kind of see. So y'all judge if you think this is a foul or not. What are you calling here? Are you saying there's any illegal contact? And it looks like Collier's involved in this play, right? So we got the play here, right? Very controversial. The Liberty go on to win this game. They go on to win this game after this foul was called. And I think she missed the second. Did she miss the second? Yeah, it went to overtime. They subsequently won in overtime. She made one, missed one. Right? And yeah. Yeah, she made one, missed one. And Spike Lee was there. Spike Lee was there. Big New York fan. All right, moving on. I want to go to this play now because this play was what caused Cheryl Reeves to crash out and ultimately end up getting suspended for the Lynx elimination game in Phoenix. All right. This is from the NBA referee's official page. This is their official page. This is what they're saying. And this is why they're saying that it was a legal play on Thomas. Now you can see the play playing right here, so you can actually see what's going on. You see it in regular speed and you see it in slow motion. So let's read what they had to say. This is not a foul. Not a foul is what they're saying. Okay. Thomas legally gets to the ball and knocks the ball loose prior to any contact. I believe that's true. The leg-to-leg contact is incidental once the ball is clearly loose. This was correctly judged in real time as a no call, as there were subsequent technical fouls. All right, so the reason that they're saying, and I'll break it down a little bit further to expound, is that unless there is a flagrant or a flagrant foul, right, a play that's savage in nature, you can't call incidental contact on two players just naturally going for the ball, right, after the ball's loose, because then you can't really determine who. It becomes 50-50 unless one player like elbows somebody in the face. But if they're just both going for the ball and they collide, then the contact is on neither. It's just a play on. There's really nothing you can do at that point. Only thing I would say about this is that it's so close, and I think it actually looks worse on replay because I watched the game live. When I seen it live, I had a clean steal, right? And I had the subsequent contact afterwards as it was just, I mean, she was in an awkward position and it just sucks that her leg was caught in between that. I don't know if this can be revived by rule. This is the right call. No call is the right call by rule. Do I think that it could be changed? I think that it all happened within the same time frame and it was all like simultaneous. So technically, and I'll give you a different way to look at this. Let's say that, you see where she hits the ball right there? Let's say she misses the ball. Let's say she goes over or goes under and doesn't make contact with the ball. Then this would be a foul on her. Only because she tips the ball first and it happens, is it a foul? So for me, you always got to go with the rules. That's the issue here. But, I mean, I don't know. I think just based off the fact that Collier was never, ever going for the ball in that situation and she was just doing a legal play and she's entitled to her space on the floor and she was basically cut off. But this plays like 50-50. You can look at it either way. Now, the people are saying blocking foul. Everybody's saying body. A couple people are saying no. Couple people are saying no. Right? He's saying he agrees. Rare tweet from me. The Lynx got hosed by calls in last year's finals. People still remembering about last year. Collier gets less respect than any NBA, WNBA star. It's bizarre. And there was also a play before this, if anybody watched the game, where they called a foul on the Lynx where they had to overturn it because the call was, and in real time you could have seen that, you know, the Lynx player was in legal guarding position and the offensive player tried to create contact by going back into the player. And then they still called a foul on the Lynx and they had to burn a challenge for that. Whereas they might have been able to go back and possibly challenge that play we just watched. But you'll see people arguing about this play all through this. So if you want to go to their page, you can go ahead and get into all this discussion and see what's going on. For me, by rule, I mean, the footage is going to back you up. If you talk to the leadership of the officials, they're going to say that you got it right. I personally, look at this play and say, I think the rules should be tweaked. I think the rules should be tweaked. I think if it's synonymous and you run through a player and it's that close, then a foul should be called there. But following the rules, I would have to call that legal no call. And I was talking to one of my official friends, and we were doing men's league just recently, and I asked him about the call, and he gave me a good perspective on it. He said, "What if a player goes up for a block and he blocks the ball cleanly, and then he lands on the player afterwards? What do you got there?" And I said, "Well, it's going to be a no call." He said, "Exactly, because when you block the ball afterwards, the ball's loose, so then you coming down on a player is going to be legal." But again, it's so blurred because the offensive player never had an opportunity to land, but I guess technically they don't have the ball. So This one's very complicated, and that's why you're going to see it be 50-50, although most people are saying that it should have been a foul. So that leads into this. That leads into this where Cheryl Reeves goes off, and I think we got the cussing version, so, get prepared for that. They might blink it out, I'm not sure, but we're going to watch this.
This is the look that our league wants for some reason. We were trying to play through it. We tried not to make excuses. One of the best players in the league shot 0 free throws. 0. And she had 5 fouls. 0 free throws. Got her shoulder pulled out and finished the game with her leg being taken out and probably has a fracture. And so if this is what our league wants, okay. But I want to call for a change of leadership at the league level when it comes to officiating. It's bad for the game. The officiating crew that we had tonight, for the leadership to deem those 3 people semifinals playoff worthy is fucking malpractice.
We do got the cousin version.
I can take an L with the best of them. I don't think we should have to play through more than what they did. We got players, Masha's on the glass and gets fucking cracked. And there's no call. And all of them said, it wasn't my call. I don't know. I didn't see it that way. They're fucking awful.
Okay. Now, I'll be honest with y'all. As an official, I've had coaches go crazy on me before. Was I right? Was I wrong? I don't know. I go out there and do my best every day or every game that I have to be unbiased, to do my job as I was taught, and to perform at a high level and get angles in between players and see contact and manage the game to the best of my abilities. We've had officials in the past that have been corrupt. It's known, it's documented. Cheryl Reeves, for her comments here that we just watched, was suspended from the elimination game that happened a few days after this press conference. And her suspension showed when they didn't have her leadership as they collapsed in the fourth quarter, blowing a 13-point lead on the road in Phoenix, to where they subsequently lost the game in, I don't want to call it embarrassing. You can't really call that embarrassing, but I will just say that it was a game that they had control of the majority of the game, and they collapsed at the end without their leader behind them in Cheryl Reeves. Although I will say that the assistant did the best job that he could do in the given situation. All right. So she was eliminated along with her team and couldn't even be out there with them during that time. Now, criticizing the officials is something that is not okay on any level of basketball, it seems. And I don't know, from an official standpoint, we kind of, and you look at the higher levels, I won't even talk I'll just look at the higher levels, right? You got to look at different things like calls that are overturned, what the rate of that is, meaning that the official got the call wrong on the floor, but then after a while, the official, on the replay, they go back and then they overturn and say, oh, we got that wrong, we're going to overturn that. It's to say that the officials do get it wrong. There's a lot of human error that's involved. And it's the same for the players. I mean, even the best players make mistakes in clutch time and, they dribble off their foot or throw the ball away or miss a game-winning free throw. And that happens, right? We're all going to make mistakes, right? So nobody can be perfect. And, with that, we have to look at it from a standpoint of, is this okay what Cheryl said? I don't think it was okay from that standpoint. And what happened was she actually came back and had more to say about it afterwards in her exit interview. Now, Cheryl Reeves had a different tone here. This is after they lost, and you'll see her smiling. And she begins to speak about her actions, and let's see if she came up with an apology or what she had to say. We can't hear the question. I'm assuming they're asking her a question.
That's not life. I will always work to, as I shared with a lot of people, my apology, to people was about standing on something that's really important to you, though you can't anticipate unprecedented reactions and punishments. I'm responsible for, tempering my emotions at times, and I've largely done that. A cumulative effect that started last season, that all the way through seeing your star player getting run through on a play. That's what you saw. I can only be me. I'll never apologize for being me. I do think it's important to grow and understand consequences of actions, for sure. But I will always stand up for our players' health and safety and the fair treatment of our organization. And I will try to continue to grow in sort of what those improvements look like.
Cheryl Reeves was fined $15K as well. Which I don't know what she makes. She's been in the league for a long time. Sure, she can swallow $15K, but it still hurts. Still hurts. She could have, it's the season's over for her, so she could use that $15K to go ahead and go on a vacation or something like that. Go and get out of basketball and clear her head, and, $15K could have went a long way for Cheryl Reeves. So that one hurt. But she comes back and she makes this statement, which I don't necessarily think is an apology, but she did acknowledge what she did and said that she needs to be better moving forward. Okay. Now, this is going to go into, and we're going to get into the Caitlin Clark situation, because I have to talk about the Caitlin Clark situation from a perspective of Kathy Engelbert. Yeah, it was Engelbert. I was saying Kathy Engelbert, and how she's kind of moving with the league, because I do think there's a large disconnect between the commish and the WNBA as a whole. Now, I could get into a whole bunch of the analytics of the WNBA hemorrhaging money and different things like that, and them not being profitable ever and all those different types of things. I don't really want to get into that part of it. I want to stay specific on just this topic. That is a conversation for another video, because we got to stay focused, all right? But I know we can definitely go down that of how she's handling just overall the WNBA and the direction she's taking it from a marketing standpoint and everything. But I want to keep it specific on these players, and then I do want to talk about the Caitlin Clark situation, because I think that she might be a bit biased towards Clark. But first, let's get into Collier, and we're going to watch her whole 4-minute video and see what she had to say about everything, because this is what caused a huge tsunami throughout the WNBA and athletics in general when she made this speech. Let's listen to what she had to say. Injured, just lost in the playoffs, and let's see.
Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates.
One second. That opening line was crazy, bruh.
Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had to walk here in my boot. I'm kind of out of breath. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything.
What?
And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
No, she did not say that.
That's the mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Kathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating. And it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take.
Damn!
I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine. It's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level. Thank you.
Bro! She just lost her mind, bruh.
Flawless victory.
Oh my God. Wow. Look at her face afterwards. She like, and take that. I don't even know where to start, begin, end with all. She says so much. I mean, it spoke for itself. Like, wow. I mean, what do y'all think about, like, all right. That was explosive. I appreciate you. Lola. Yeah. I'm in Minnesota, right? But I don't look at this from a biased standpoint. I just can't. Like, I have to look at everything as a collective, right? What she said, though, and the way that the league is moving lines up with the data that we know, with the statistics that we have, right? The league is declining in many ways, especially with the hype around CC, Caitlin Clark. And you do not want to have a disconnect with the players like this. Now, I do want to preface by saying this. I just want to go to something real quick. Let me just slide this over real fast. I'm just going to slide this in. We're just going to smoothly put this over here. Hold on real quick. I got it right here. Let me just open this up real quick. We got to do this real fast. Because I have to show After Show Collier has her own basketball league. This might be a strategic takeover by Collier. Now, if you want to look at the latest players that are on her league, which tips off January 5th, Unrivaled, January 5th it tips off. She's got all these players from the WNBA, including Alyssa Thomas, the one that might have did take her out, actually. I take that back. Might have fouled her. The foul was a little bit like maybe, maybe not. But she seems to have players like Paige Beckers, Breonna Stewart. Let's look at a couple other the big names in here. Let's see. Aaliyah Edwards, big name. I mean, all these players are actually pretty good. Chelsea Gray. Brittany Skies. You look at Skylar Diggins, Cameron Brink, and the list goes on. And it looks like they're trying to add more players. I can click this? No, I don't want to put my stuff in there. Oh, wait, let me see. Can I be interactive with the website? All right, so this is her league, though, as far as we know. Rumor is that this is her league. She began this league. And I don't think the WNBA likes it. They want control. They said, we've pumped a lot of money into you, and we haven't made a single penny. Not one from you women in the WNBA, and we don't like it. And we're going to catfight about all this. Now, I want the women to just all get along and create a great league. And it looks like they're trying to do this outside of the WNBA, where they've came together and say, you know what, WNBA, we're good. During the winter months, we're going to go ahead and do our own league called Unrivaled with a crown on a W because we're queens. Okay? So I just want to show that and say that, you know, Collier might have some ulterior motives in the way that she's attacking the commish. She might have some ulterior motives in the way that she's attacking the commish. All right, so let's go back here. Let's go back here because we got a little bit more we got to look to. And now I want to look at the relationship between her and the players, but I want to look at the relationship between her and Caitlin Clark specifically. Now, should I go to this? Well, let's go to this real quick. This is some of the players that are agreeing with Collier after the 4-minute video we just watched of her blasting the WNBA and its leadership. Angel Reese pops in, 10 out of 10, no notes. If you're not following Napheesa Collier's press conference right now, you should be. Wow. Don't know when I've ever seen an active player take such a direct and personal aim at a league and commissioner. Thank you for your bravery. Mark Cuban steps up. Look how they hire and train new officials. Look how they promote new officials and from where. Refs get trained in the G League. If they aren't good there because it is very little investment made in training them, how are they going to be good when they get to the W or NBA? Halliburton chimed in and said, woo! Alicia Clark. Applause. So the players are on board, and that is why we see this. That's why we see this. Engelbert is likely to exit as WNBA commissioner after CBA negotiations. So when the players get together, they're going to try to vote her out. And they're probably going to try to get a more player-friendly commission. But let's see if she's really against the players. Now, I want to start by saying that this is AI, okay? This is AI, 100%. This is a parody, okay? This is not to defame or do anything against Kathy. It's just kind of what we're hearing that is going on from her. So let's play this video that was made and see what we got.
Good afternoon. Let me tell you, you never quite get used to the thrill of seeing your name trending all day. Let me start by setting the record straight. The rise of the WNBA, its growth, its visibility, this was never about a single player or two or three. They are merely the beneficiaries of our league's visionary, carefully curated 29-year...
This is AI. This is not her actually making a statement, all right? I want that to be clear.
...marketing strategy. We didn't get here because of a social media darling or flash in the pan. We got here because the league's leadership foresaw this moment and crafted a brilliant strategic path to success long before any of these players even put on a jersey. And concerning some of the comments by Fee, well, bless her heart, it's almost endearing to hear discussions about pay. We're in 2025, folks. The reality is that players today have more opportunities than ever. Endorsements, merchandise, podcasts, all thanks to the league and its steadfast leadership. They should be thanking us, not trying to shake us down. In the end, the success of the WNBA is no accident, and it certainly isn't due to any passing trend or singular player. We will continue to forge ahead with our proven, well-executed long-term strategy that continues to shape the future of women's sports, and hopefully will turn a profit at some point. This is just the beginning, and the real work, the work of league administrators, speaks for itself. Thank you.
What do y'all think about that based off what we just heard from Collier in her exit interview? What do you think about that? Because what Collier basically said was similar to what this is saying, is that she's basically saying that it has nothing to do with one player specifically. Now, I'll even say that the NBA understands that this is false, because when LeBron leaves the NBA, there will be a decline in viewership. When Michael Jordan left the NBA, there was a decline in viewership. Now, the NBA will continue to go on when these players leave, but to say that certain players don't carry the league, it's completely insane. It absolutely is. Take the top 10 NBA players out of the NBA and the NBA will decline. I mean, like sharp nosedive, like how Netflix stock is looking right now after all their mass cancellations, which we're going to get into that in a little bit. Now, I want to keep going on because the last part of this is I want to look at some situations with Caitlin Clark. Let's actually go to, because we talked about, there was a lot of different situations that happened with Clark when she first came into the league. So we're going to go to Hoop Dungeon because he's got a good compilation of a lot of the fouls that she took. So let's go to Hoop Dungeon. He's got 39.4K subscribers. So definitely check out his channel and, you know, go over there and subscribe if you'd like to. But we want to look at how he put this together. I thought he did a great job. Shout out to him.
So far in her rookie season, the WNBA has had 30 flagrant fouls this season. Doesn't seem like that much, but the issue is that 5 of these 30 flagrant fouls have been committed against Caitlin Clark. And of the 5 flagrant fouls that have been committed against Clark, 4 of them have been committed by the Chicago Sky. So yeah, 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire WNBA this season have been committed against one player. And 80% of those flagrant fouls on that player have been committed by one team alone. But how bad are all of these flagrant fouls?
All right, so let's look at some of the
Caitlin
fouls.
drives down the court and pulls up for a deep 3 in transition. The defender goes to contest the shot, but her feet land in Caitlin's landing zone, leading to a flagrant foul call. The controversial part about this play was that the defender landed in the landing zone, which the shooter gets once they land back onto the ground from their jump shot. Interfering in the landing zone has been a controversial...
He's gonna talk about what happened with Kawhi and why they changed that rule. If you get under a player's foot, then, you know, that's a flagrant foul. Let's look at another one.
One. The defender landed in the landing zone, which the shooter gets once they land back onto the ground from their...
And this is a dirty play 100%, and I'm never gonna defend a play like this. I play a lot of basketball, and I don't think I've ever got under somebody's foot, ever. And I'm a very aggressive defender, but I can control my body as an athlete very well. I've never got under a shooter, not once. Nobody's ever rolled their ankle on my foot, and I guard guards. So with that, absolutely dirty play. That's my perspective on it, and that's never gonna change. You get under a shooter, that's dirty to me, about 98% of the time. Okay, so you see it there. I'll say we got a couple more. Let's look at this one.
This cheap shot didn't result in a flagrant foul, but it was clearly done on purpose to trigger Clark into center. So get ready. Thomas nailed Clark in the head and could have been seriously injured on this play.
Now we got Thomas here. She was the one that was involved in the play on Collier where they thought that, it possibly should have been called a foul, although that one wouldn't have been flagrant.
Clark was simply trying to get through a screen set by Alyssa Thomas, but Thomas put her right shoulder and forearm to Clark's neck and face and knocked Caitlin Clark straight to the ground.
5 quick points here for Caitlin Clark.
Now, I'm going to say that this could have been accidental, but it's not accidental when this comes up. If it was just body contact, cool. When you do this, you're trying to do something different. Unnecessary.
And Thomas just run.
The basketball play?
Let's see, we got another one.
This next instance happened in a game earlier in the season against the Chicago Sky. Caitlin was driving to the basket, and while she went to attempt a layup, Angel Reese whacked her again, leading to Clark falling hard to the floor. Was it a basketball play? Yes. But the way that she smacked her that hard right into the face made it seem like the play didn't...
She was nowhere near the ball. Again, I've never hit anybody in the head like that. I'm a very aggressive player, but I just don't. That doesn't happen with me personally. I think, and there's a lot of athletes that don't commit fouls like that at all.
In a nationally televised game on Friday, August 30th, the Fever matched up against the Sky. The game had all the hype around Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese and the controversy that has stemmed on which player would win layup. Then Diamond DeShields ran at Clark and intentionally sent her flying to the floor with a very intentional shove. It looks like DeShields runs and doesn't even attempt to slow down and just sends her flying to the floor.
She playing football, bro. That's not basketball right there, bro. That's not basketball. Let me see. We got any more? I think we got one more. Let's see.
Angel Reese on the sideline as soon as Carter knocks Clark to the floor. Angel is clapping, cheering, and celebrating in response to Carter knocking Clark. Here is the most ridiculous of them, because it was a blatant cheap shot that wasn't even a basketball play, just a shove to the ground for absolutely no reason. Here we have Kennedy Carter shoving Clark to the ground solely out of frustration and jealousy. You can see Clark was just waiting the inbounds pass, but Carter runs up to her and knocks her right to the ground for absolutely no reason.
That is equivalent to a sucker punch. That's equivalent to a sucker punch. She wasn't even looking at her. You can't just go and just shoulder into somebody like that. And, that's absolutely a flag. I mean, I don't know. Did she get ejected for that? You should be ejected for that play. Has nothing to do with basketball. So I wanted to look at some of this because, people will say, and if we go back to Collier's point, she said that the WNBA, and she talked about, the platform of the WNBA is making these players who they are. We have to be very, very specific when we're talking about this. It could be the majority of the players, but somebody like Caitlin Clark was rich before she came into the WNBA. Now, there's been rumors on the table that Ice Cube offered her $15 million to play in his Big Three league, and Clark could do absolutely incredible overseas or really just start in her own league. I think half of the WNBA might leave to just go watch her. Like if she just started her own league at the YMCA, I think honestly, like the YMCA would have a line around the block just to get in there and watch Clark play. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous to not just give her credit for bringing all this visibility to the league. Clark also was the one that was the reason that they ended up getting charter flights. It's very much likely that it was her that had something to do with it. Let's give Angel Reese some credit as well, because Angel Reese was actually instrumental in bringing a lot of visibility to the league with her feud with Clark. They didn't like each other in college at LSU and Iowa, but just with her NIL deal, she came into the league richer than every player in the league already, and probably actually richer than the commish herself. Like Caitlin Clark is richer than the commissioner. I'm almost positive, and she can generate a lot of money outside of the league, absolutely. And she does not need the WNBA. I'm just gonna be honest. Like she will do quite well playing basketball anywhere else, but she wants to play against the best competition, and that's why she's there. And I think that's the only reason why she's there, in all honesty. And it'd be crazy if she joined that unrivaled league. that would be insane. But I want to come and put all of this into perspective, and shout to Dreads Bane by bringing this back up. Dreads Bane on X. I want to bring up this video where it shows the difference between how Kathy, because he was talking about it after what Fee said about Kathy and her thoughts in the exit interview we seen from Collier, and this one's very disturbing to me. And this is where I really have an issue with the way that she's moving. Yeah, yeah, that was crazy, right? Like, and it goes along with the whole thing that women can't get along. You got a women leadership, you got all women players, mostly women staff, and here we are, they're out there just destroying each other, trying to take each other out and injure each other. Which, if you injure Caitlin Clark, you hurt everybody. It's almost like they're willing to destroy everything on the way out. You can look at it from a standpoint of, like, you know, divorce and stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. Women initiate 80% of divorce, break up households and all that stuff. It's all red pill stuff. I'm not really going to get into that because it's kind of irrelevant for this conversation, but I will say it's not a good look for the Women League for them to be fighting. They actually need to come together because there's more money with them coming together and having a positive outlook than having a negative one, especially with all of the connotation that's surrounding it. But yeah, absolutely. A lot of those plays are terrible. And they don't just do it to Clark either. We're just highlighting Clark specifically because she's the most popular player in the WNBA, but they do it to each other all the time. As you can see, just in the Minnesota Lynx versus the Phoenix Mercury, very, 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 very brutal series, and ultimately had Collier get hurt for the rest of the year. This, though, I have to look at, all right? And the reason why is because when two separate players got Rookie of the Year, we want to see how Kathy Engelbert handled Caitlin Clark, the most popular player in the WNBA by far. It's not even close. Basically carrying the whole league on her back, versus another player, which I'm not even sure who that is. Somebody can let me know who it is. I don't keep up with Rookie of the Year in the WNBA, honestly, so... But she calls Clark on the phone, right, at practice, and she's just on speakerphone talking to her. But then when the other player gets Rookie of the Year in the year before and after, she goes there in person, hands her trophy, and celebrates with her and all the players. I mean, this is completely insane. I'm going to let the whole video play out. Just watch this. This is going to blow y'all's mind.
You just have somebody that wants to have say a couple things really quick.
Really quick.
So, hi, Coach Sides. This is WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Do we have the team all together?
Hello. Hey, yes, ma'am.
All right. I know you guys are in Connecticut. Well, but good luck in tomorrow's playoff game. And is Caitlin Clark in the room?
She sure is.
Yeah. Caitlin, it feels like just yesterday when I called your name to the stage as the #1 pick in this year's draft. You held the Indiana Fever jersey for the first time, and what a record-breaking season for you and the entire team, full of outstanding performances. And I know all of you, that hard work and dedication, and it's paid off with your playoffs, etc. And I know the best is yet to come. So, congratulations, Caitlin. You are the 2024 Kia WNBA Rookie of the Year.
All right, this is this year's Rookie of the Year. Let's see how Kathy handled this. You seen what she did with Clark? Called her on speakerphone, empty arena in practice, and that was that. Let's look at the contrast. Oh, it's Paige Beckers. Okay.
Spirit tunnel, but I'm here to present you with the 2025 Kia WNBA Rookie of the Year award. Congratulations. WNBA.
I'm just gonna leave this up. I'm just gonna leave it up. Y'all can't see. Hold on real quick. My fault. Y'all couldn't even see it. I'm gonna play it again. Because I had Kathy. She was cropped out. My fault. All right, let me play it again so you can see. I'll just get to the part where Kathy comes in with the trophy.
She's the one. Ooh, Paige Buckers at J-Hud. Hey, shooting buckets, she's the one. Paige Buckers at J-Hud. Shooting buckets, she's the one.
Kathy right there.
You'd see on this cool spirit tunnel that I'm here to present you with the 2025 Kia WNBA Rookie of the Year Award. Congratulations.
I gotta pull your comment back up, TK. TK2, I gotta pull it back up. And I gotta highlight the last part, jealous females. Is that what it comes down to? Because if you look at this situation, what else can you come up with? You're the commissioner of the WNBA. The person that catapulted your entire league into notoriety, skyrocketed the ticket prices for you, made you millions upon millions of dollars, almost got you out of debt. Even she couldn't do it because you're running it so inefficient. I'll say inefficient, all right? You're gonna pull this, really? Why Beckers ain't just get a call during practice as far as her being the Rookie of the Year on speakerphone from her coach? And these optics are terrible. And as the commissioner, you can't have these optics. You absolutely can't. Then you wearing the Skyline uniform to the... Listen, I have to be objective here when I say that there's something extremely, extremely strange with the leadership over at the WNBA. And since she's the leader of it all, it starts there. That's what happens when you're Hefe. You got to take the most brunt of the blame. Is she just a talking head? Is there somebody really pulling the strings behind the scene? Maybe, maybe not. But I know this. She has the autonomy to do whatever she wants to. And she chose to go out here for this photo op because she's jealous of Caitlin Clark. That's what it seems like to me. And, you know, just going along again with what Collier said, it all lines up. It all lines up. So what do y'all think about all of this? What do y'all think about all of this? I think this is absolutely insane. 100%. And I don't know where we go from here, but I want to hear from y'all. I absolutely want to hear from y'all. So get in the comments. If you're watching this on the playback, if you didn't catch this live, absolutely comment on this whole situation. I know there's a lot of things I probably didn't get to, I probably didn't cover. It's just there's so many details that go into it. I really could break this down for like 3 or 4 hours and really break it down strategically, go into Final Cut Pro and edit everything and put slides and comments and different things in like that. But we're doing this live. And because of that, it's not going to be as structured as we want it to be, but I appreciate y'all, family. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best. I appreciate you. I appreciate you more than the people over at Netflix. Well, the subscribers at Netflix appreciate Netflix at this current time. A lot more. A lot more, because Netflix is the latest in all of the controversy. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this. Not long. Probably about 10 minutes on the Netflix situation, because it's something that we have to talk about. Let's start here. Let's start here with Netflix. Do any of y'all have Netflix? Netflix actually, and I want to look at the stock price so you can see recently down 23%. 23% is huge for a company like Netflix. It can equate into billions of dollars being lost in valuation. And this all started after a guy named Elon Musk. You might know him. You might be driving a car that he has. You might have one of his robots in your house. You might be using his platform, Twitter X. You just might be. Or maybe not. But if you don't know, Elon Musk is one of the richest people in the United States of America and or the world. And he started a complete tidal wave on Netflix. But I think he joined on a little bit later after he retweeted somebody else's tweet that was harsh of the company that is Netflix. And it all stemmed from political issues with Charlie Kirk, but then it got into situations with the LGBTQ plus IA. Is that all the letters? I think that's all the letters. And because of that, mass cancellations have begun to accumulate on the platform. Now we'll look at their stock price and we'll see that over the past 6 months, up 246, well, past 6 months, 26%, 246% overall. But more recently, with all of this, yeah. I want to actually go back and dissect her speech again. I'm going to listen to it again after this, and I think y'all should too. We probably didn't catch everything she said on the one playthrough. So I'm going to go back and listen to what Collier had to say again because that was crazy. Like, she said a lot in that 4 minutes, and I think a lot of it needs to be dissected. I don't have Netflix. I use a different service to get my content. I'm still able to get Netflix shows. However, a lot of people do have Netflix, and a lot of people began to cancel them, and you can see it's reflected in their stock price, down 22%. Let's go into it and look at some of what we have going on with Netflix. You'll look right here and you'll see breaking news. Netflix is seeing massive subscription cancellations right now as Elon Musk joins boycott over woke content. Now, I'm going to get copyrighted to hell on this, so it is what it is. If you're watching this live, you get to see it. If you're watching a playback, I don't know how it's going to look. It might just jump cut to a whole bunch of different stuff depending on how I have to edit it so it can stay up on the platform. However, this is some of the sentiment from some of the people. Sentiment. Is that it? Sentiment, right? Y'all can help me out. I got a very smart audience. Y'all are very smart. Netflix went woke. They are now going broke, they say. And this is what some of the people are saying. So let's just look at it. Every recent movie on Netflix, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't watch a lot of Netflix content. The last Netflix show I watched was Squid Games, and I watched You. I watched You and Squid Games. So none of this actually pertains to how I look at Netflix, but I want to go along and show what the people are saying, at least a subset of them, right? In both of the shows I watched, there was none of this. But they're saying white man is always the villain, okay? Black man is always the hero. I mean, I'm a black man, so I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I'm more on the hero side than the villain side personally, but that's just me. I don't represent all of us. Gay guy is the voice of reason. Gay guy's the voice of reason. Woman has the balls. Okay. Dad is an idiot. The dad is an idiot. Don't. I mean, that's kind of been the dad's been the idiot. Like, I would push back on a lot of this, honestly, but I actually don't know what's going on the platform. We're going to look at a couple of videos and see what's going on, but it's been like this forever, though. Married with Children, Al Bundy, The Simpsons, of course. We just... Don't! Family Guy, Peter Griffin. Like, and I can go on and on and on. This is before Netflix. So The dad's always been the idiot, which is almost the opposite usually, because most of the time they're the ones that are the leaders of the household, or should be, or else the household would be in ruins. But I'm not taking any credit away from the women, because they actually do more within the house. The dad may like pay, you know, do all that stuff, but the woman actually maintains it. So to me, I just think it should be like a equal thing. You don't have to do things the same way between one another. Like, just because one person has all the money doesn't mean that their contribution is more than the person that facilitates and, you know, keeps everything together, right? Like, so I think that it's just a team effort, right? If you're on a basketball team, you're not trying to be the center, and the center's not trying to be the point guard. Shaq is not trying to bring the ball up. He lets Derek Fisher, Kyrie Irving, or whoever bring it up. Shaq's down in the paint. Jason Tatum's at the three-point line. So I don't know. Like, everybody has their role. So it is what it is. But calling the dad an idiot is crazy. Mom is the breadwinner, which is usually the opposite of that, although women are doing pretty well nowadays. Shout out to all the women that are getting money out here. It's a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all women are doing very well financially. At least you're making a lot of money. As far as the way that you spend it and you control your money and allocate it into the right resources, that's a whole different story. But there's a lot of women that make a lot of money. I know some. Children are sexualized. Now this point right here, this is awful and this is terrible. So we're gonna look at this and see what we got going on. Do I got some videos? Okay, I got some videos right here. Let's watch some videos and see what we got going on. This person says, wow, kids show Jurassic World Camp. I don't even know how to say that name. Cretaceous? I don't even know. On Netflix is pushing woke garbage on children. The show's supposed to be about dinosaurs. However, they're promoting LGBTQ propaganda. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's play it.
Protect your kids, yeah? Sometimes you have to watch what they watch. Watch what they watch, guys. This is crazy, guys. This is Jurassic World, you know? Jurassic World. And we sent our kids to bed just before this happened. We didn't even know this was gonna happen. This is crazy. This is crazy, guys. Guys, watch what your kids are watching. Be careful. It's everywhere now.
Judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Okay, we just seen that. We got another one. This guy's gonna show one of the shows over on Netflix. Let's check this out.
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney. And I can choose if and when I tell people. I've never been happier. And that's saying something when I spent today chased by terrifying zombie mascots. Pugsley reminded me how important it is to live your life without apology. So I think I gotta give living here a shot.
Now, that's on Netflix, and it's called Dead End Paranormal Park. So you can see Netflix series Dead End Paranormal Park, Season 1, Episode 2, The Tunnel, and see that TV Y7? That's telling you this is rated for 7-year-olds and up. Now, I'm not sure why a 7-year-old needs to be introduced to trans ideology. Seems a bit young, but this is live on Netflix. And again, they're saying this is for 7-year-olds and above. No. Do 7-year-olds need to be introduced to this ideology? No, they don't. Netflix, what are we doing? What are we doing? Parents, pay attention to what your children are watching. It seems they're sneaking things like this into shows. Also, just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter where I go in.
All right, yeah, I got you. We're not subscribing to your newsletter, bro. All right, so I want to let him speak and see kind of what the perspective of some of the people is, though, because you know, we always want to be fair. So, okay, this guy here is saying this. I've had enough of woke Netflix. I have just canceled my subscription. And you're seeing this by multiple people. There's just a whole rally of cancel Netflix going on right now at this point, mostly on Twitter where it's happening. Actually, I want to check out TikTok. I wonder, TikTok probably probably feels the opposite of this, which I actually didn't even check them out and see what's going on. But this guy right here is saying this. He's saying that the killer in real life, right? And he's got boy, all right? And he's saying that on Netflix, specifically on Netflix, he's saying that they are showing that
this boy you up here with, man? You skipping school?
He's saying that the killer is usually going to look like this young kid down at the bottom. Okay? I don't know. I can't agree with that though. Like that's crazy, right? Like, so, you know, when you do stuff like this, I think you hurt your cause. I think you hurt your cause. I actually want to go. We're gonna pull up. What else do I have here? We're gonna do a little pivot real quick. Do we got one more? We got one more. Let's check this one out. I'm gonna take the sound off of this one though. We'll just get the visuals of this. Can I get subtitles on it? We don't need it. You can kind of see what's going on though. They basically got two men getting married. And it looks like some kids are involved. Michelle and Barack Obama are the executive producers of this show.
Judge my physical and my physical as well as my mental fitness.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
What do you mean? Just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't understand.
I don't know what's going on in this. I don't know what's going on in this scene. Let's check out TikTok real quick. We're doing this live, so I don't really know exactly what we're going to see, but we're going to go through a couple of these TikTok videos real quick and see what people are saying. Let's check her out. She looks like she got something to say.
I canceled my Netflix subscription years ago. Back in 2020, there was this movie that came out. Is that a real voice? And it starts with a C. You can look it up, but it was so unbelievably inappropriate. I could not even believe that they kept it on their platform at all. But anyway, like around that time, I had about 4 or 5 YouTube videos about it. That's how bad the film was. So I canceled mine back then, but it looks like a whole new crop of people are canceling again after this creator of a kids show, paranormal something kids show. Anyway, he was on the internet publicly saying some pretty horrendous things about Charlie Kirk, and obviously people are not okay with that. Even Elon Musk tweeted something. It's just still, even though I've been covering this from the very beginning, it is still so shocking to me just how comfortable people are posting things like that publicly. And then also
Okay. So that's one of the people right there. Cancel my Netflix subscription. Let's see what she got to say.
I canceled my Netflix subscription today. Okay, last month I canceled my Amazon Prime. This month it's Netflix. I saw the prices were going up, and then I just saw today that my bill went out on Netflix from my bank account. And it was $17, which is I think what it usually is, $16.99. And then I got an email saying that they were raising their prices, and I was like, do I even need Netflix? We have Disney Plus. We'll have it. I did the yearly one, so I looked, and we'll have it until like mid-April, I think. And then I was like,
I don't know if she's canceling because of the controversy or because of the price. Like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, this is an older video. All right, this is an older video. Let's see. See if we got some more recent. The price has went up a lot though. Remember when you could share your Netflix account with other people? Like if I had a Netflix account, I could share it with my friend, with my mom, with my cousin, with my brother. We could all use the same password. Yeah, no longer. No longer. Let's see, do we got any new ones? People have been canceling for a while. But they've been quite profitable. As many people have canceled, as many people have subscribed. Let me see something. Let's go up here. We got Elon. I want to see Elon real quick. Oh, I got it right here. Yeah. So Elon, he's been really heavy in this movement. You see him right here. Cancel Netflix for the health of your kids. And they actually said that Elon is actually thinking about pulling up making his own type of Netflix platform, which he can afford to actually combat them. Let's see what else he's got. They say Coco Melon, interracial gay dads attempting to raise a baby as a transgender toddler to make the toddler dance for them in drag. This is the woke version of, I'm not going to play the sound. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. Wow. So Elon is in full force against Netflix at this point. Here he is right here. After Elon Musk told his 226 million followers he's canceling Netflix, the trend has gone viral of people posting their cancellation. It's time to cancel and boycott Netflix. So what do y'all think about the whole Netflix situation? I think we'll probably follow up with this a little bit more as time goes on. It's still in its infancy stages as far as what the ramifications are going to be. But again, we can look at their stock and see that it has suffered because of all of this. Might be a good time to buy. Might want to pull your money out. It could go up or it could go down. This is not financial advice. Y'all are the best audience ever, man. I don't even know. Like, I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. We got to get into our positive story of the day because we got to end on a positive note, as always. As always, we have to end on a positive note. I honestly didn't know these kids shows were on Netflix. We're like this, and then you got an emoji that comes in as text. So you're saying probably like you're shocked that it's on Netflix. Yeah, TK14. I didn't know either, and the reason that I didn't know that those shows were on Netflix is because I don't watch Netflix like that. Like I don't watch Netflix like that, and there's only a few. I would say there's like 5 shows on Netflix. I've watched The Ozarks, Squid Games, You. I don't even know after that, and I don't even watch them on Netflix. I watch them on a whole different platform. So I'm not in tune to what's going on, and I've never had my kids just sit and watch Netflix and just turn the play button on and just go do something else. So my kids have not been subjected to anything like this. And, hopefully no one else's has either, although I don't think that's the case. Netflix does have a very, very wide range of an audience. And yeah, so we're going to have to look more into this. We are going to have to look more into the Netflix situation at some point and see what's going on. Expect a follow-up on this sometime, possibly tomorrow. We will get back to it. I want to let a little more play out and let everything kind of accumulate, and then we can really do a deeper dive in on what's really going on and the content that they're promoting. Although I will say a lot of stuff with the black people and them being the villains and all that is a little strange. But when kids get, I can deal with myself. You want to say that I look like a criminal and I look like I'll rob you when I'm walking down the street and you're scared of me because I'm a black man and I'm a killer. Whatever, I'm a grown man, but let's keep the kids out of it, please. Let's not try to teach kids propaganda and different things like that. Let them grow up and be kids. They don't really need to be seeing like all this strange stuff that adults got going on. So I am 100% against anything that has to do with hurting kids. And because of that, I want to go to a story where we are talking about a child that shows us as adults how we need to act or be okay with, because it's okay not to be in first place. And this kid shows us, because he got 4th place and he was absolutely happy with just competing.
As we zoom in on this goat showing in Kingsville, Texas, meet 5-year-old Milo Garza staring at his yellow ribbon. Just look at that face. Over the moon about winning 4th place. Even kissing his little goat teddy bear and hugging him tightly. We had to know the story behind this video.
Hello, goats.
Hey, watch this though. You know what an adult would have did if their goat got him 4th place? And they would have ate the goat. I don't eat animals, personally. But y'all would have, an adult would have been so mad that the GOAT underperformed and they pumped all that money into the show and to performing and the GOAT ended up failing and not getting him a ribbon, they would have took the GOAT out and ate the GOAT. Adults, y'all can learn something from this young man.
Behind this video.
Hello, goats.
Milo and his mom Elizabeth telling us how it all went down. It turns out the whole Garza family loves goats.
We feed them, and
they love goats.
Work them, and we walk them. We give them water.
But Milo was actually filling in for his big brother. So this was Milo's moment. And he knew Teddy Bear was one special goat.
Milo, if you can just tell me, what's one great thing about Teddy Bear?
His legs
Goat named Teddy Bear?
What about his legs?
are fat.
There you have it. One of the secrets of goat showing. From the new kid on the block. His mom saying Milo's been working hard, and that moment captured on video, the joy of competition for a 5-year-old boy and his favorite goat.
It was a raw emotion, you know, it was something totally like unexpected.
Yeah.
You know, and just the love that he has for his goats. Milo is a goat lover. You know, he goes outside and he's constantly, you know, kissing the goats, you know, loving on the goats, you know, hugging them, and he's just, I mean, they're pets to him, and he can't get enough of them.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. And, you know, for me, like, I look at this and I say, I could learn something from young Milo and his GOAT. Bah. I don't know why we heard bah. Ain't that a, I don't even know. I'm confused now. What, I thought sheeps don't do the bah. Goats do it too? What sound does a goat make? All right. But we can all learn something from young Milo. Let's get Milo back up here.
It turns out the whole...
Let's get the whole family. We can all learn something from young Milo. Is that we have to be okay with whatever situation that we're placed into and begin to adjust. And just be happy with the experience and not the outcome. Because we far too much worry about the outcome and not the experience and the journey to get there. That's what's really important. An example would be, let's say that you didn't have to do any work and somebody just stamped a 4th place ribbon on you. Or not first place. They just stamped a 1st place ribbon on you, gave you a trophy and a whole parade, and you didn't do anything. You just sat in your bed, went to the venue, walked in the stadium, and everybody's cheering you on. And you didn't even brush your teeth yet. Would you feel good about that? Or would you want to say, you know what? I trained, I ran the race, I raised my goat, I studied, I engineered, I dressed the part, and because of that, I ended up in 4th place. But I got the whole experience. Like, what means more to you? Because for me, I believe that the journey is far more important than the outcome. And we can learn that from this young man. And all you adults that are out here acting like children will go ahead and take some advice from this 5-year-old. Because you could use it. You could use it. Thank you, Lola. I appreciate you. Absolutely. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Yeah. Thank you, 2K. 114. No, 2K 214. I appreciate you as well. You're absolutely incredible. And yeah, we'll follow up on a lot of this. Maybe we'll talk after the finals. We'll follow up and see what happens. We want to see what she's gonna wear to the. Let's see, because the finals are gonna be, who got in the finals? Was it Oh yeah, it was it, because they beat the Wolves. So the finals are gonna be the Las Vegas Aces and the Phoenix Mercury. So let's see how Kathy decides to show up to the games and what she decides to wear. She might come in there dressed as a What's that? What's the thing in the desert? You know what I'm talking about. The desert plant. It's escaping me. The desert plant. What's a desert plant? You know what I'm talking about. Hold on. I got to find it now. Now I got to find it. Cactus. Yeah, the cactus. The cactus. She going to come in there dressed in a cactus outfit. She going to say it's just for Halloween. But she really just want to represent Phoenix because they got like all them deserts and cactuses out there. She ain't rocking with Vegas. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But until then, I got to go. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. I want y'all to have a really good rest of your day. Absolutely want you to have a good rest of your day. And if you don't get first place, that's okay. Just enjoy the journey of doing everything. Because that's where all the fun comes in. I don't have first place on YouTube, but I enjoy the journey of all of this. Anyways, till next time. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day, y'all.